Hello, everybody. Day 2 of Tulsa Tough. Wowzers. What a race. What an experience. This is my first year racing at this level, so anything that I've ever done before doesn't even scratch the surface of the intensity and the skill level and the energy that you get from a USA crit or top level race. So let's start with that. Kind of recap from Friday night. Friday was the first big race of the year, and with COVID, it kind of rearranged our whole schedule where Tulsa was the grand opener of the race season. Usually we have some smaller races that start, and people slowly start trickling into these races from what I've gathered. With this race, everybody shows up because it's Tulsa Tough. It's a huge event placed at Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the entire community is surrounded by this. When I flew in, I landed at like midnight, and the Uber driver that picked me up was so stoked that I showed up to Tulsa for Tulsa Tough. And this was not a cyclist. This guy was not an athlete. He was a local, overalls, just Oklahoma boy. He was like, "Oh, Crybaby Hill, I bring my whole family there. We all go out there. I bring my kids. It's a wonderful time." And I'm just sitting at after a day of traveling going, where the hell am I? I'm from Florida where everybody on the road tries to kill you. If you're on a bike, you're an asshole automatically. So to have this kind of support from the community is unbelievable, and it didn't just stop there. It carried on into the next day, where we did a warm up in the morning, and every car gave you space. They waved at you. They waved you through lights. It was crazy. On the radio, you could hear them promoting Tulsa Tough, saying, there's going to be a lot of cyclists out there. Give them some extra space. This is all stuff I've never heard before. Like, once again, coming from Florida, if you're on a bike, God bless you, because it's crazy. But awesome community. This is day 2. Friday was the official start of the USA Crits. Tried to make some things happen early in the race with it only being 60 minutes, and I always kind of race aggressive to begin with, so I really tried to get something going in hopes that maybe I could motivate one or two other guys to come up the road, and maybe we could get something rolling. Unfortunately, I think I was the dumbass here, and everybody knew the caliber of racers that was here. So when I went off the front, that's cool for screen time, whatever, that's awesome. I got on the screen and everybody back home saw me, but in reality, I was playing Legion's game, and they sat at the front and held tempo with 6 guys and brought it to a field sprint. I mean, they have it dialed down to a science where everybody sits behind Legion, fights for position, and then hope to God that you're at the end of the 60-minute race for the field sprint. Unfortunately, I almost got in a massive accident. I went airborne, my back wheel went sideways, blew my bead off, lost some of my tire pressure, went to the pits. They squeezed my wheel and they're like, "No, you're good. And I was telling them, "No, man, I'm a 180-pound dude. When I sit on this, it's all squishy." He told me I can chase. So, and it's my first time racing at this level, so I didn't know how aggressive I can get or how much I can push. So I got back on my bike, rode another half a lap, and my wheel popped off, my tire popped off. So that was kind of the end of my race. I left frustrated and ready for day 2. So here we are at day 2. Once again, it's not as many people starting this race. We had 140-ish starting, where we had 170 on Friday night, but still a big field and a field full of heavy hitters. You had most teams represented. You have the whole Legion squad. You had Best Buddies. You had Butcher Box. You had Cliff Bar. You had CS Velo. So, I mean, stacked teams, and all these guys are hungry and ready to race. So it was fast right out of the gun. Right here you can see I'm trying to make a move, get up to the front. It takes 34 miles an hour to even make it up to the front, and it's kind of pointless. I'm going 30 miles an hour. And my idea behind this was, okay, there's a guy up the road a little bit. That left-hand turn is sketchy. There's a concrete wall, as you see, and you really don't want to be stuck in the back because everybody's squeezing their brakes going into that turn. So you really want to come out of that like fifth wheeler or so. There's a guy up the road. Best buddies just launched a guy up the road, and I kind of know, okay, there's two people that are making their way up. Maybe I should try. But at the same time, you look at it and you go, okay, Legion's controlling the front, so do I go or? And ultimately, I think I make the decision to kind of sit back and just see what happens here. I gave it a good like 3 to 4 times to try to make something happen, and it couldn't. I'm out of words. I don't even know how to explain the talent that they have on their team. You know, you have Travis McCabe right up here on my left, and every time he moves, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go with him because, you know, every time he's been in a break, he seems committed. I raced with him down in South Florida quite a bit, so I know, you know, when he goes, it's not, okay, let's try to grab some people and go up the road a little bit and then sit up and go back. No, he's usually pretty committed. So that was one of my marked guys that I'm gonna go with all the time. Another one would be Michael Hernandez, huge breakaway rider. I know he likes to ride the front, so anytime that he went, or, you know, ultimately the best case scenario would have been if we could have got a Legion rider in a breakaway, because that would have shut down their entire chase group right there. And if you look, as I pass right here, you have 5 Legion dudes on the front. So this little bridge, it's kind of pointless because, you know, they're going to bring us back. Now, if somebody from Legion would have jumped on my wheel and they came up with me, then that's a game changer. I think they would have really sat up, and then we'd have to figure out from there what we're going to do. And, you know, if there's 3 people, that's a guaranteed podium right there. So, but I think they had different plans. They know how strong their team is riding tempo or threshold or whatever it is at the front, that, you know, bringing it down to a field sprint is going to be ultimately the best decision for them, with having 2 of the best sprinters in America on their team. I just want to kind of touch base on like how hard it is to be even at the front of one of these races. You're constantly fighting for position to be in the top 10 spots, and it's almost like a constant washing machine. Is that if you let up, you have 4 or 5 dudes passing you, and then it takes you like 2 laps to get back to the position that you were. And the idea is that you want to conserve energy, but you're constantly burning matches trying to get back to the front, and then hope that, you know, you can have enough left over to make a move or go into a move. So it's a constant like battle of, okay, am I doing the right thing here? Should I just sit back and risk being in a crash to conserve energy, or do I want to be at the front burning matches and not miss a breakaway opportunity? And then to talk about like nutrition, a lot of people always, you know, ask, oh, what do you do to prep for one of these races? It's a crip. So 1 bottle, I always put amino rip hydration in my bottle. And then, you know, sometimes I'll bring like a caffeine gel. But on a course like this, there is one spot that you could really get water in, and you didn't even have time to get a gel. It was slug some water and go into the downhill. That downhill was about the only spot that I saw anybody feeding at. The rest of it was, this part that you're watching right here is the moneymaker spot. This is where everybody attacked because we had that slight uphill. So everybody tried to make their moves here. So you had to be on extra high alert right here. And as you see, like, Legion train is just coming right up next to me. And, you know, what am I supposed to do? You know, they're very respectful. They didn't knock me out of the way. Right now I'm in front of Corey, I think, and he didn't once like try to push me or shoulders check me, so that's cool. And I just kind of, you know, that's his train, so I said, hey man, go, because, you know, I'm not gonna fight you for your team spot. So I backed off a little bit. I think one other guy comes in front of me, and then I slide in. And I think the smartest thing at this point would have been for me to just sit in, fight for this position behind the train, and then hope to God I can be at the end for some kind of sprint. I'm not much of a sprinter, but I think I'm going to have to try to start working on that. I am a bigger guy, so I always like breakaways because I like time trial, and I like to suffer, and I have a really good FTP where it allows me to just sit at a high threshold for quite a long time. So that's always my go-to, but with these races, I don't see that really happening a lot with like the caliber of racing that we have going on right now. It's field sprint, and it's almost like, are you field sprinting for 5th place? I don't even know. It's crazy. But
These down here at the front, these guys.
so I know this is the spot where I need to start paying attention, and as I see right there, I see a Best Buddies going up on the left attacking with a elevate. So I'm like, okay, money move right here, let's go. I jump on, burn a match, I go with, and instantly we have a gap because they just sit up because they know that they're just gonna reel us back in super slow. And everybody in this breakaway kind of knows that. I really was committed for every breakaway I was in. I was going to go all out, drooling on myself, vomiting. I did not care. I was so committed in all these, but they knew that we needed a Legion guy with us to make this. If this would have been the perfect opportunity. We have the Best Buddies, we have a KHS, and we have me in this. If we could have had a Butcher Box or a Legion guy, I think that's the break right there, especially Legion, because they would have shut down their train and we would have been gone. Especially on a course like this, carry really heavy speed into this left turn right here, and then you carry it up through the uphill, and you're really going to gain some seconds right there. But unfortunately, they're gonna chase us down, and I'm at the front being like, yeah, I'm committed, let's friggin' go, it's full gas, come on guys, as I'm dying 1,000 deaths. So they leave me up there, they rotate a little bit, but they know what's up. And I think, Best Buddies sat up pretty quick, so at this point it's only me and this guy just trying to make something happen. And we are swallowed back up. So at this point, you have a couple guys that went past us, but we have the whole pack behind us. And what's crazy about a race like this, so 140 guys start, I would probably say only 50 finish. And even on Friday night, 170 start, probably 60 finish the race. So that goes to show you how strong and how fast. I mean, you guys are seeing the numbers here for speed. It's wild. And here comes the train. And you see how they just, they come right past us and then they kind of ease up a little bit, and this hold tempo. They're so strong that they know that just hold tempo. Or threshold, what I don't even know, tempo or threshold, whatever it is to them. But for future racing, our next race up is Boise, which I'm having, you know, that's a far flight from Florida. Boise is far, and it's not really a well-traveled area. You know, there's no real big cities that are around Boise where, okay, I can fly in. So I think I'm gonna have to either drive over to Fort Lauderdale or up to Tampa to try to get a flight to Boise, just because the ticket prices don't make sense. And it's a one-day race, so you're flying in, you're racing Saturday night, and then basically get back home to the family. So trying to get that all worked out, but that is the next race, and I believe that's on July 10th. I'm gonna try to make a video for every one of these races. So if you guys like this, make sure that you like it and you subscribe to the channel so you guys get alerts that I made a new video. I've done videos without commentary. I've done videos with commentary. Let me know in the comments below if you like me talking, or if you want just raw footage for like trainer purposes. I can do either or, so just let me know and we'll go from there. I know, and everybody likes the watts on there, so I'm going to continue putting watts on. And until next time, we'll finish up this race and we'll go on. Thanks for watching.